Does he have it?
Medeiros is going to get it.
They haven't got it! He's on the outside line though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly, Miller's still such up. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's going to do it. Big Barry! Good evening and welcome back to the SRL TCR Season 6 Fun Race live from Oulton Park with no chicanes. I'm James Parfitt, going to be here guiding you through all the action with Zach Sweeney in the booth. So what is the format for this evening? Qualifying will be 10 minutes or 3 laps, 20-minute heat 1 and then a 20-minute heat 2 with a reverse top 20. Last season's winner, Dan Mould, is in here as well. Dan Sedgley was second and Arthur Ferdle was third of last season's championship. Now, the interesting thing about that is Dan Mould, out of all of the races, and they have 12 races per season, Dan Mould only won 1. So it goes to show that it's better to be consistent than trying to push for the front every single time. Now, the calendar we are here for at Oulton Park for the fun race. Then in 2 weeks' time, we go to Brands Hatch GP for the league-only registered media day. And then we go on 2 weeks later for round 1 at Hockenheim, round 2 at Oschersleben, round 3 Catalunya National, round 4 Donington National, round 5 is at Zandvoort GP circuit, and round 6 is at Knockhill International reverse format. And let's bring Zach Sweeney in to the booth to discuss this one. Zach, good evening, young sir. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. My voice is considerably better than the last time I took to some SRL action, so hopefully you won't have a bit of a laughing fit midway through some action, James.
Well, you did go a little bit squeaky. You did sound like that squeaky toy from Toys R Us. Toys R Us? Toy Story.
Wait.
Toy Story at one point when it went, you know, that was you. That did actually crease me up. I've got to be honest. I sat here laughing considerably about that. All right, so here we go. We're back again. Season 6 is, kicking off. The registrations are open. If you want to get yourself involved, you can. All the Discord links are down in the description below. Follow the Discord links, go into the Discord, and you can join in with Season 6. What do we think of the calendar? Okay, so Brands Hatch Media Day, Hockenheim, Oschersleben, Catalunya, Donington, Zandvoort, Knockhill, International Reverse. What's going to be your favourite race?
I mean, it's not got Snetterton, so I'm a bit disappointed about that, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I'm just having a look. I mean, I like Donington. It is awesome when it comes to touring car action. I think Knockhill, when we were discussing the calendar, I was like, you know what, Knockhill is going to be a fantastic one. It's the reverse layout, so not only is a Knockhill, you're also going backwards, which is interesting. It'll be a great way to round off the season. I mean, Hockenheim could be an interesting one. Brands Hatch will be interesting, but it all starts here, obviously, at Oulton Park. And I have to say, for it being a fun race, this is a brilliant way to sort of get the season's action underway, because Oulton Park is a brilliant circuit. So I have to say, SRL, the admins, they've done a pretty good job of designing a calendar. So I haven't really got a favourite. I just have to say it's going to be a good season.
Any you would swap out for Snetterton?
I mean, I have to probably Zandvoort. I've experienced Zandvoort a little bit, and I know this is bad because coming from a Max Verstappen fan, right? I would probably take out Zandvoort and put in Snetterton. That's just me being my Norfolk boy, my Norfolk bias. But I've seen Zandvoort in touring cars. I don't think iRacing has the updated F1 layout anymore with the bankings and things. So with it being the bog standard flat version of Zandvoort, I don't really know how well that would be with touring cars. I'm very, very looking forward to getting proved wrong. But yeah, I mean, Snetterton is right there. You've got to have it. The longest straight in the UK. It's a great club circuit, and I mean, you've got Donington, you've got Oulton Park, you've got Brands, you've got Knockhill. All you're missing is Snetterton.
Yeah, I kind of have to agree a little bit. I probably would have put Snetterton in. The only other one I might have thought about, and I just sat here and thought about, could be Phillip Island.
Ooh, you're onto something there.
I know, Phillip Island would be an awesome track to replace. And I'm not keen on Oschersleben. I don't know if that's because it doesn't float my boat, but I think if I could whip out a couple, I would probably whip out Oschersleben and put in Snetterton, and then whip out Zandvoort and put in Phillip Island. That would have been my ideal calendar. But as you say, they have done a great job here with the admins as well. John and Dan, of course, putting this all together. So overall, I think they've done well. But yeah, maybe a couple of changes. I would have tweaked it. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not in control, so, you know, we just
That's
go
the
with
thing,
it.
exactly. It doesn't matter what we say, 'cause it's not going to change anything, is it?
No, they're not going to change it now because they've already listed it. So there you go. Phil's also giving you grief. He said, I thought you were growing mouses, Zach.
Yeah, I know, I saw it. Do you know what? I went to Disney World for a family holiday. Oh, wow, it's nearly 8 years ago now. The first thing I bought was a pair of Mickey Mouse ears that, you know, go over your head. So, well, just, yeah, maybe I am. Maybe it was destiny that I turned into a mouse, but it's nice to see you, Phil. Yeah, I've missed you too. It's been, it's been a long time without you, you know, the whole, well, 3 days since I was last on a JPB broadcast. But yeah, no, I've missed him. It's great. And yeah, cheers, Phil. I don't really got more to say about that because I don't want to scare out because I know full well he'd put me on my backside. So I just shut up.
I don't want to front it out, Phil, but at the end of the day, nice to see you.
Pretty much, yeah.
We are coming to the end of practice before we go into qualifying, guys, as well. As we've now got a very shaky Zach Sweeney in the booth there. So, yeah, Phil is from your neck of the woods, mate.
Is he actually?
He is, yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he's up north.
I swear,
You're a northern lad, aren't you, Phil, if I'm not mistaken?
Wait, what? Northern or Norfolk?
I don't know. He's up your way. I'm sure he is. Northampton way?
Northampton's nowhere near me.
It's not too far away from it. Where are you?
Like Norwich.
Oh, God blimey.
Oh, I shouldn't have said that.
No.
Phil's not coming in my door.
Phil's on his way. Phil's
anyway, qualifying's underway, so
yes,
let's turn away.
Oh, Fraser Garrity, first man out on track, of course. We've also got the wonderful Jay Corley back in here. Now, Jay obviously come and joined us last season for a bit as well. I did make a YouTube short out of Jay. Unfortunately, we were at Okayama and Jay did not have a good race. I think the YouTube short went something along the lines of Jay Corley spinning more times than Kylie Minogue. So, you know, unfortunately for Jay, he did end up becoming a YouTube short. But, you know, he's back this season again in his Hyundai Elantra there. Should be, hopefully, see what he can do as he comes down into Shell Oils. Of course, running no chicane, Zach, just a straight run from Shell Oils all the way down to Knickerbrook.
Yeah, it's an interesting layout. It's not one that you really often see. I mean, I like the... I like the normal layout of obviously the Britain chicane literally right there, and then obviously Hislops as well. It's an extra braking zone. They're fun chicanes to go through, especially when you're committed and on the limit. They're nice chicanes, but also that very, very long run. You know, it makes Knickerbrook a bit more of an awkward affair, turns it more into a corner, if you like. It's also a longer straight, therefore maybe more avenues for overtaking, more time in the slipstream potentially. I don't know. I think it's, you know, Oulton Park is a good circuit either way, chicanes, no chicanes. I think it is definitely going to be a very interesting race. But what it does do is, well, remove a couple of chicanes and potentially, therefore, a couple of corners where you could get some moves done. But then again, you're not exactly running out of overtaking opportunities, particularly when it comes to touring cars, because any circuit, any corner, they can pretty much make it work. Into Lodge Corner at turn number 1, if you get a good run out of Druids, you've definitely got a good opportunity. Old Hall, maybe if you get the alongside, then obviously you go through the sweepers and the Cascades. It's dangerous, but it could work. Obviously, Island Bend, maybe not. Shell Oils, if you're brave enough, definitely easily could do. Then that long run down to Knickerbrook. It's going to be a bit of an awkward one, and then obviously the final couple of corners is going to be you know, a bit of an awkward affair. Obviously, the circuit is narrow, it's twisty as well. There's not a lot of runoff, so you do have to be careful. But the be all and end all of it, James, is the fact that touring cars can go anywhere and race anywhere.
They generally can. Now, I don't want to see too wide action in Ireland, right? Partly because somebody generally will end up off on the right-hand side over that tyre barrier. Partly because there's always somebody drifting wide, and it does become quite hard for the person on the inside to tighten up the Island Bend. So we'll have to see how that one works out. We are on board with Jay now as we're heading down this long straightaway the way we were talking about. What do we reckon potential passing opportunities about now? Do we think they're going to happen?
I mean, looking at how much speed Jay carried through Knickerbrook, it made me doubt a little bit. I mean, obviously these touring cars have not got an extensive amount of sort of downforce or aerodynamic capability, but they've still got a decent amount of grip. But yeah, I was expecting Knickerbrook to be a bit more of a braking zone, if I'm honest. But well, to each their own. I mean, it just means that you've got to set yourself up a little bit better, obviously through Druids and now into Lodge Corner. I think you can definitely get an overtake done through there. I don't know. I guess we're just going to have to wait and see, in all fairness. I really do hate the fact that that's the answer, but we're going to have to see how the dynamic of the race goes, how willing people are to risk things. I mean, you have to remember, this is just a fun race. It's not a championship deciding race or anything like that. So the mentality of it is entirely different. These drivers are coming in here today to say, you know what, I'm going to make a statement. I'm going to be that guy that gets my elbows out and has a bit of fun with it. Because at the end of the day, you're meant to. It's a fun race, right? You go out, you have some fun, you race a little bit. So maybe with that sort of mentality, we're going to see a different kind of racing where people are a little bit more less rational, I suppose, is the term. You know, they're not thinking as much long game. They're not thinking about a championship. They're just going out there to have some fun. So maybe we could see some interesting scenes. Who knows?
Yeah, Arthur Ferdel's just about to come across the line as well. Phil has put, you're welcome from Nottingham. See you tomorrow.
Fantastic. Lovely.
All right.
But actually, no, I was about to say, if he comes and sees me, that means he's not going to watch JPB tomorrow, but there's no JPB tomorrow, so he'd get away with it.
Yeah, that's actually the first ever day for a very long while. There isn't a JPB broadcast tomorrow. However, we make up for it on Sunday by giving you 5. So, you know.
5?
Yeah, we got 3 going out. We got the P Cup going out about 7:20. Round 1 of the Radical, no, it's not actually round 1. It's round 4 of the Radical Sim Racing Series. That's for Watkins Glen, going out about 8 o'clock. Then we've got the IGP going out at 9:20 there. That's with myself and you, and should be near enough 60 F3 cars heading around Magny-Cours. And then we got the Radical Sim Races Americas at 1:45, also at Watkins Glen there as well. And then we got the LSRL GT3 live from Twin Ring Matigi at 1:45 also. So there is 5 going out on Sunday. So we make up for the fact that we haven't got one on Saturday. But we have got Arthur Ferdel, who has not got a time on the board here. And there's a reason for that, is the amount of off-tracks that he's currently carrying in that Elantra is a little bit, well, I've got a current count of 4, so we'll have to see on that one whether or not he manages to get a lap in the Elantra this season. See how he gets on.
Yeah, of course. I mean, he took 3rd place in the championship, did 3rd. So he definitely knows his way around a circuit in a touring car. He did struggle a little bit. There we go. As soon as he does get a lap in, it's P8 out of quite an extensive field of 23 cars that have so far managed to put a lap time in. It's not too far off either. I mean, you've got the entire top 15 all within a second of each other. Dan Mould on a 35 dead, all the way down to Andrew Thompson on a 35.99. So obviously they are very, very close indeed. Well, I guess you could go down to Gibbons, who is just about within a second of the leader. It's incredibly close. So yeah, looking forward to seeing how this race pans out. And obviously they only have got the 3 lone laps that enable them to put a time on the board. And when it's this close, 3 laps really isn't a lot. You have to deliver on each and every single one of them. Otherwise, you run the risk of, finding yourself maybe 5 or 6 places lower than you potentially could be.
Yes, that's going to be the interesting thing. Jamie Dangle here in his wonderful Peppa Pig livery. I am loving this. I do see Jamie on a Monday in the Clio Cup, also in the Peppa Pig livery. So he's got Peppa Pig literally made for every car he possibly drives, I think. Gary Craig has just gone on to pole there. He's done the end of his 3 laps. Matt Elmore is another one. Dan Mould just finishing off his as well. There isn't many people now who hasn't done their 3 laps. Arthur Ferdel is literally coming to the end of his as he comes down into Lodge Corner, of course, the last corner on the circuit. Looks like he's improved over sectors 3 and sector 6, but we'll have to see how he gets on here as well. As he goes across the line, going to be hugging that left-hand side, taking the shortest route possible. What is Ferdel got to do? He's purple in sector 7, and he goes into 7th place. Not an ideal start there for Arthur Ferdel. JB Deju stuck out on track. Alan McCain as well. He's another one running up through Clay Hill and Water Tower and coming into Druids. So overall, it's not been a bad qualifying for some. Gary Craig, Matt Elmore, Sam Smith up front, of course, but others have struggled a little bit. Arthur Fertel down in 7th place.
down in 7th place, but only 4/10 off pole. I think it not only sort of speaks volumes about how close it is, but it also speaks volumes about how really good Arthur Fertile is, because he's actually put in a very competitive lap time, and a blink of an eye quicker would see him onto the third row of the grid ahead of John Brown. A blink of an eye quicker would see him, up into 5th place, etc., etc. I mean, there's not a lot in it at all, and I think you can't really read much into fun days, particularly qualifying of a fun day, because obviously it's not giving you a massive picture. You don't have all the data and all the telemetry and everything to see everyone's pace at different points and who's good and who's where. But as far as sort of starting a new season goes, I think the qualifying that we're seeing now is giving very, very good signs that, around 1.5 minute lap time, it's not the longest in the world, it's not the shortest in the world, and we're getting, lap times this close. It is telling of what should be 2 brilliant races, and what hopefully could be, in total, what's it going to be? 14 races over the course of the of season 6, with the fun race, the media day, and then obviously 5 rounds as well beyond that. So I think for sure, yeah, of course, that would have wanted more from 7th place, but then again, there's not really much more to get out of the car to be able to get them on pole. So, yeah, either way, I think it's been a rather close qualifying session, and hopefully it's going to transfer to just as close, if not even closer race.
Yeah, we've got second gap all the way down from first, all the way down to Bingham, down in 20th place. Dan Wareham has not got a lap time at the board yet. He's got 30 seconds to get to the end of the lap, and he is 2.8 through his lap so far. So it's going to be interesting to see whether or not he can get to the end. I don't actually think he's going to be. Phil's forgiven me. He said, I need Saturday to find Zach and get back to Nottingham. I didn't get my fix on Sunday. So there we go. VJ4, there go VJ Rayner. VJ Ranieri. Has VJ changed his name that I don't know about all of a sudden? Because I'm pretty sure that's not what I've got. But Dan Wareham's not going to get to the end now. You're a little bit worried there, Zach, are you?
A little bit. I mean,
a little bit, yeah.
Feels a bit menacing, but here we go. Here's the grid. So off we go.
Gary Craig is in first. Matt Elmore second. Sam Smith third. Dan Mould fourth. Eric Ronenberg fifth. John Brown sixth. Arthur Fertile seventh. Andy Lovesey in eighth. Jonathan Cook ninth. Steve Howard 10th. Kev Eilert in 11th. Derek Crowther is down in 12th place. JB Deju 13th. Jay Corley 14th. Ryan Dudley 15th. Dominic Joy 16th. Fraser Garrity 17th. Craig Walters 18th. Peter Bingham 19th. Tom Bingham 20th. Stuart Gibbons 21st, Jamie Dingle 22nd, Andrew Thompson 23rd, and Alan McCain in 24th. Then on from there, VJ Rayner 25th, Steve Woodcock 26th, Russell Fowler 27th, Dan Lewis 28th, Dan Wareham 29th, and Niels Manshanden is in 30th place, and the last man on the grid. So there we go. Let's see how this one all pans out. There's all the cars sitting there waiting, ready to go. Few more to get onto the grid, and then we'll be away here at Oulton Park as well. Let's go, says Jamie, who's in YouTube chat when he should be actually sat on the grid there as well. So Jamie, what are you up to, son? Get on the grid, which he is, sat in his Peppa Pig car, ready to go. So Gary Craig is on pole position, ready to go. And let's see how this one pans out down into turn one, as we wait for Derek Crowther, Dan Wareham, and Niels Manhanden. Dan, what do we think? Dan, that's because I just read Dan's name. Zach, what do we think? Who's going to win? Quick.
Dan Mould.
Okay. Here we go then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's lights out, and away we go here at Oulton Park for the SRL Season 6 Fun Day. That is Gary Craig out in front currently at the moment with Matt Elmore, Sam Smith, and Dan Mould. There's changes Arthur Fertile and Steve Howard flicking backwards and forwards there. Fertile runs a little bit wide in that Elantra as he heads down into Cascades. Currently, Arthur Fertile is up in one place. Steve Howard up 3, got off the line like an absolute rocket there. Fraser Garrity up 3, Alan McCain up 4, Russell Fowler up 5. Big gains there, Zach, but everybody made it through cleanly.
100%, which is definitely a good thing when it comes to Oulton Park. Very chaotic opening couple of corners when it comes to racing this close, but it seems all calm before the storm really for the entirety of the top 4 in towards Shell Oils for the first time, and well, it seems to be fairly tame for the most part. You can see Sam Smith demoting Matt Elmore down a couple of places, Dan Mould as well, so potentially a mistake there for the number 7 machine, down 2 places, and potentially maybe one more as well. He's trying to recover as best he can, but a very, very long run in towards Knickerbrook, downhill before you slam on the anchors. Matt Elmore, unfortunately, maybe a bit of a mistake through Shell Oils, losing that momentum has cost him a couple of places, but Dan Mould is on the move.
Yeah, he definitely didn't, unfortunately, look like he didn't go off track at all. It looks like he just may have made a mistake, as we say, down in the Shell Oils, but these guys are all very close together as well. Andrew Thompson, Daniel Lewis have just swapped positions as well. Sam Smith was on the grass, coming through Druids now. Is that going to allow Dan Mould to go up the inside? He gave a thought about it, but didn't make it stick there as well. Eric Ronneberg in that wonderful pink livery, which we're coming to accustomed to of Eric. We can spot him an absolute mile away, and there is Eric Ronneberg there as well. But it is Dan Mould climbing all over the back of Sam Smith, with Matt Elmore tucked up right behind him in 4th place. John Brown 5th, Arthur Ferdle 6th there as well. And there are your gainers and losers on your first lap. Eric Ronneberg down 8 positions. That's incredible.
It's a big loss, but it's all about the momentum swing, you know, in a pack 30 strong, in a pack that the top 20 were separated by just a second in qualifying. You make one mistake and you are going to get freight trained. Kev Aylett makes it 9 for Ronneberg as well, down to now 14th place, which is a big shame. Who's that off in the background through Shell Oils? That is a huge off. Steve Hailwood, also Dominic Joy, Arthur Thurtle into the mix as well, nearly rolling themselves back onto the circuit, which is not the first time we've seen that out on Park, particularly in recent times of the GB3 Championship. Different corner, of course, but a big off, and well, it's caused a bit of an awkward affair there because, well, they're trying to rejoin the circuit while other people are trying to make their way around it.
Yeah, Steve Hailwood here. This is what he was. Oh, he's already off. Let's see if we can find out a little bit earlier on as well. Looks like he may have gone off here. Oh, no.
Understeer.
Oh. Stop.
Stop.
Wow. Unfortunately, that's exactly what we were talking about with Island there. No control when you're on the grass. None.
100%. As soon as you're off, particularly with sort of how iRacing handles the grass model and how it's constructed, you dip a wheel onto that, you are a passenger essentially. You are driving a boat, and particularly at Island Bend, obviously the cars have just come off the back of quite a long straight. They're going into it quite high up towards their top speed capacity. Going through the corner, they are on the absolute limit of adhesion, just a little bit wide, dabbing one wheel on, and they are gone. And obviously, you've not got an extensive amount of room to actually stop the car, particularly when you're heading straight into a hairpin. It's quite likely chances are going to T-bone someone at some point, which is obviously not ideal in the slightest. It is a very tricky corner. Well, the majority of the corners here at Oulton Park are, in all fairness, but that is for sure one of the most standout ones. Into Shell Oils once again. We're watching this fight as Eric Ronneberg tries to make up for some lost ground off the opening moments of this race. He's managed to claw back 2 places now to bring his total to a net -0, but also a couple of changes amongst the front lot as well, as Matt Elmore tries to fight with John Brown also. And well, I have to say, James, it's been quite a chaotic start. However, the lot at the front, they're, in all fairness, quite chill at the moment.
Yeah, they seem to be set where they are at the moment with Gary, Craig, Smith, Mould and Elmore. Your top 4. Brown's 1.3 back. He's kind of on his own, really, because he's got Andy Lovesey behind him, and that further 1.6 back from that. However, Corley is sitting in the mix here with Cook as he's coming down into Lodge Corner. Is he going to make this move round the outside? Is Corley going to pick him up and stick him in his pocket? Yeah, well, he tried, and unfortunately he put himself on the grass. Oh, Gary and Dudley. Was that Gary and Dudley? I think it looks like there as well. Jay Corley, Fraser Gary and Ryan Dudley. Dudley nearly had Gary there along the straight when he moved over to try and go past Corley. Dudley was like, well, I'm going to come out as well. So that could have been rather interesting. But back up front is Craig Smith, Mould and Elmore, all less than a second apart currently at the moment.
100%. There's the change for the lead. Sam Smith demoting Gary Craig to second place is into Island Bend. There's not really much that the pole sitter would have wanted to do in order to fight that because, well, you inside outside, it is very tricky to actually make it work. If you're on the outside, chances are you're going to be the car pushed off. If you're on the inside, chances are you're going to be the car that's pushing off. And, well, Gary Craig didn't want any part of that whatsoever. What it has done is put him into the middle of a 3-car fight. Sam Smith, Gary Craig and Dan Mould. And what that does is really put some pressure onto Craig's shoulders. He's not only got to look forward to Smith to attack, to regain his throne at the top of the timing sheets, but also he's got to look backwards. And I have to say, the reigning champion is not someone I would want in my mirrors.
No, definitely not. He's just naturally quick in the TCRs is Mould. So from Smith's point of view and Craig's point of view, they're going to have to be careful. Don't get me wrong, neither are a slouch in there either. They're not up at 4 and 5k respectively because they're slouches in this car. They're not. They are incredibly quick and people that you definitely do not want to be trying to fight with because they will fight tooth and nail for that position there as well. But the top 4 here settling in as they are currently, and then we got Fraser Garrity leading a pack of cars, Dudley, Corley, Eilert, Walters and Ronneberg and JB Deju trying to get involved as well. So it's like 2 separate packs there. The front 4, then the next 3 and then the next 6 are all together. So it's getting very, very, very spicy indeed as Kev Eilert's just about to try and run up the inside of Corley in that way round Cascades. This is where it could all go wrong. Going down into Ireland, 2 wide currently at the moment. Who is going to work this one out? Is this going to work for these 2 drivers? Are they going to be able to make this stick? Corley backs out. He backed out of that, and I think that's probably the right thing to do.
100%. As I said, Island Bend is not somewhere you want to risk going side by side. If it works, and fantastic, you look like an absolute hero. If it doesn't, you look like a bit of a muppet for not backing out of it. So obviously you want to weigh up how likely each scenario is going to happen. Chances are if someone's alongside into Ireland, let them have it. It is not worth throwing your entire race away for the sake of one position that chances are you can get back quite easily. It's why that we've now seen Sam Smith back down demoted to second place because Gary Craig led him through at Island Bend. Was like, yeah, cool, awesome. I know I'm quick. I know I can bounce back. That's exactly what he's done. A bit of a poor run from Sam Smith going through Druids. Could invite Dan Mould to have a bit of a look into the final corner here at Lodge. He's to the inside, chucking his way through. Very weird corner is Lodge, is the way it climbs and then dips back down and then up again through the pit straight, continuing to go side by side of the pair of them. Matt Elmore sat idle in the background as well. He's waiting for a perfect opportunity to pounce. Dan Mould looking for an opportunity through inside line through turn number 1. However, Sam Smith leaves him to dry around the outside. Beautifully done. What this has done, however, is allowed Gary Craig to get away nearly to about the extent of a second, hovering around 8-9 tenths or so now as the gap back to second. That is a vital bit of breathing space that he is going to be very, very grateful for, particularly if Sam Smith continues to make mistakes like that where Dan Mould can maybe get into the fight.
Yeah, Mould's not silly though. I don't think he would send it up the inside of Ireland for no reason. I think it would have to be a definitive move that could happen. I think he's going to get the run out of Shell Oils though. He's on the gas already. Here we go. We're going to have this nice long run down into Niggerbrook on the nose of Dan Mould. How is he going to handle this? If he's going to go on the outside, this could cause a problem here because obviously Smith needs somewhere to go. And the only way he's going to be able to go is Dan Mould gets squeezed against the grass. He's going to look for the run. He's got to look for the run. He's got the run. Oh, they're both off. Here we go now. Is this going to work out up through the water tower? Dan Mould on the grass as well, coming up through Druids now. They're side by side. Mould's off. Smith's off. Oh no!
That's huge. Absolutely catastrophic. And Dan Mould is going to have his head in his hands. So too is Sam Smith. What it has done, Gary Craig 2 seconds clear of Matt Elmore, 2 seconds clear of Andy Lovesey as well. That is a huge, huge crash. So easily can happen though. And that unfortunately is the consequences of doing risk it all moves around Oulton Park because, well, you pretty much have the tarmac, then you've got a curb, then you've got grass, then you've got some barriers as well. We're going to take another look as to how it all happened. Through Knickerbook, all good. Sam Smith goes in a little bit wide and you can see Dan Mould tries to get the up and under, nearly reaches the rear end, however, of his rival. Now has a look to the inside of Druids. There is a little bit of contact that sends Dan Mould off to the right near the grass, picks up a bit of dirt on his wheels, comes back over, and then as they try to brake and turn for Druids, it's all a bit messy, and well, obviously going into Druids, they're going quite fast, and well, apart from that, yeah, they weren't exactly
There's the initial
looking too good.
contact.
Yeah, it's just that chain reaction, boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom. You have to say, Elmore was loving life looking at all that.
Oh, who was that currently off the grass as well? Ryan Dudley, we think, may have taken a trip off. Garrity as well, Dangle Mould, Fertile, Russell Fowler. That was currently off, and that promotes Kev Eilert up to 7th, Corley 8th. Ronneberg is now in 9th, as these guys are licking their lips at the hands of the fact that they've just been given a complete and utter freebie with just over 9 minutes remaining as well. It's something that can happen. The worst thing is looking back, these guys are back together again with Steve Woodcock. So poor old Steve here is going to have 2 people that already made contact, and I've seen this before already. Here, once. How has Dan Mould still got his bumper? Considering when we watched him, his bumper went flying.
I've got to be honest, I don't know. Maybe he stuck his hand out the window and grabbed it. I don't know. Either way, maybe he picked up a Super Mario repair. I don't know, in all honesty. iRacing sometimes works in some weird and wacky ways, but we love it regardless. And, well, here's a fight here. Eric Ronneberg up now to just 3 places net loss in terms of this race. At one point, it was 9. You have to say, what could it have been for the American had he actually gotten off to a good start, because his pace and his racecraft has been sensational. But right now it seems that Kev Eilert might just be the ceiling for him in terms of this race. Side by side in the background as well is Craig Walters and Jay Corley run side by side on this back stretch towards Island Bend. Of course, to concede though does the Hyundai, and into Shell Oils once more. There's no way through for either couplet that we're following with at the moment. But yeah, the race is, I don't want to say settling down a little bit, but we're seeing some gaps start to form, and well, we're having different couplets, triplets starting to emerge.
Yeah, this is what Kev Eilert sees. The big looming pink machine of Eric Ronneberg, as we're just near enough on the inside. Oh, Ronneberg's backed out, of course. Kev Eilert did as well, as these guys come through the bottom end of Knickerbrook, I believe, on the run up through Clay Hill and the Water Tower. So that's a nice, interesting shot there. Ronneberg has backed out. It looks like he did lose a chunk of time. Ryan Dudley's currently sitting in 6th. DK10, the sim community, welcome in. Thank you so much for joining us. And he's tucked up right behind Fraser Garrity at the moment. Dudley in the Audi, Garrity in the Honda. Favourite TCR, Zach, out of these 3 on track?
I mean, I like the Honda. I like the look of the Audi though. I think the Audi looks quite menacing. I haven't personally driven any of the 3, so I can't really give a perspective as to how they drive. But on pure aesthetics, I love the Audi, I've got to be honest.
The thing is, I have driven the Audi, right? And it's really not much for me to say because I didn't drive it very well. I do love TCRs, but me in the Audi was, well, like putting me in ice skates and telling me to go and do a triple toe loop. It just ain't going to happen. So overall, I do like the Audi, but I'm a little bit of a fan of the old Honda, I've got to be honest. I think, you know, it just, yeah. But then again, people are hit or miss on whether or not they like it, as Dudley's on the grass there as well, unfortunately for him. Ronneberg still now right up behind Kev Eilert. He has, look like he's cleared Craig Walters and is now trying to get onto the back of Kev Eilert. John Brown, for good health, is battling away with Dominic Joy as they're going side by side as well on this run down into Knickerbrook. How is this going to work out? Audi versus the Honda. Who's going to back out? Is any of them going to back out? Yes, sensibly. Dominic Joy does there. What about Dan Mould and Russell Fowler? No, they're not going to be backing out, and they're going to be running side by side. Dan Mould does manage to make that work. Peter Bingham, Arthur Fertile, Steve Howard, of course. Howard and Arthur Fertile involved in an incident. Really, technically, was Steve Howard going wide at Island onto the grass, not being able to stop in it, and torpedoing Arthur Fertile in Shell Oils. So that's how that one worked out, and that's why Arthur Fertile was all the way down in 23rd. Unfortunately for him, Steve Howard, who hit him, is in front of him, which, you know, a little bit frustrating, but I'm sure Arthur Fertile will come back stronger in the next one as well, as we go into that top 20 reverse, which currently is occupied by Alan McCain. So Alan McCain will be on pole position there as well. Unfortunately for Arthur Fertile, if he stays where he is, he will be in 22nd place. Corley and Eilert mixing it up here as they go running around Cascades down into Island. Zach, how's this one going to work out? We've seen this before.
We have indeed. We've seen it go wrong before as well, and sensibly, Corley backing out on that particular occasion. It's nice to see drivers exercising some caution, but so far, so good in terms of race number 1. We've only got a handful of minutes left to go. You can just see in the top left of your screen there, about 4.5 minutes left to go of this first race, and Jay Corley knows that he shouldn't get it done through Ireland because, well, he's got this long back stretch off the exit of Shell Oils in towards Knickerbrook, and, well, if that Hyundai has got some straight line speed on his side, he might be able to work his way past, but no changes as it stands in the very quick flick to the right. Jay Corley unable to find a way through for now, but again, never say never. There's plenty of ways to find a way through, and I think he is just being a little bit cautious, which, as I said, James, in all fairness, the way that race 1 has gone, oh my goodness me, he's clipped his rear left on the grass, he's gone sideways through Druids, he's continuing to go sideways, doing a bit of rallying as opposed to touring cars as he works his way now still onto the grass and brings it back onto the asphalt. Fantastic stuff there, side by side in behind as well for good measure, also in towards the final corner. That was, I was about to say he's being cautious and sensible, then he goes and does a bit of Colin McRae.
Yeah, but he did it in such style as well. I mean, I think that's the thing for Jay Corley. He didn't, just mess around with it. He did it in complete and utter style. As you see here, he hits the grass. There we go, and then he just sort of power slides round and then goes on the grass again, and this is where it all got a little bit hairy. I did want to go a little bit further back, but unfortunately it's not showing up there to allow me to, but he did manage to keep it there as well. So well done, Jay Corley, stunning run. As we go into JB Deju, Dominic Joy and John Brown. These three are nose to tail currently at this moment in time as well, battle down in 13th and 14th and 12th place respectively.
Absolutely, and while they're not necessarily fights for the race victory, they are fights nonetheless, and it's brilliant racing that we're starting to see. And yeah, fantastic stuff. As we've been saying, I mean, so far so good, and I cannot wait for not only race 2 but also the season to come when it comes to these touring car lot, because while they always seem to impress no matter where they go, no matter who's on the grid, no matter what's what, they always seem to put on a decent chunk of action. Up to this fight here though, it's the fight for 5th. Fraser Garrity, Ryan Dudley all going at it. Fraser Garrity up 12 places, Ryan Dudley up 9. It's the battle of the big gainers in the grid so far, and well, I'm sure it's far from over. A couple of swaps as well as Kev Eilert moves his way around through Eric Ronenberg. So plenty of fights, and well, you don't really know where to look. I respect you, James, for trying to figure out where to point the camera, I'll be honest.
Yeah, it's an interesting one really, because Ronenberg and Eilert have swapped backwards and forwards a couple of times, mind you. So this isn't their first swap, and it probably shouldn't be their last. But it's just trying to keep all the action on your screen currently, as you see Gary Craig out in front by 2.4. So the top 5 really kind of nestled in as they are. It's everybody behind that with Dudley, Garrity, Ronenberg, Eilert, and then as you can see, Joy is in the mix as well. Dan Wareham with Ferdl. Ferdl's now in 20th, so he will take pole in the next race if he stays where he is. I don't think, to be honest, with 1 minute 45, I would be looking at trying to close up any more. But as you saw in front of us there, Garrity and Dudley were currently nose to tail going around Shell Oils, and unfortunately for Dudley, it looks like he has lost a little bit of time coming out of there.
Yeah, I mean, it's easily done. The momentum swings one way, then very quickly swings the other. That is the thing. However, it is a fight between Honda and Audi. We saw the Audi reign supreme a little bit earlier on, but Fraser Garrity's got his work cut out for him because Dudley looks very menacing. A poor run through Knickerbrook. You can see the closing speed of Ryan Dudley as he now ducks and dives. Doesn't really know where to put that Audi, but he finally commits to the right-hand side. It gives him the inside going into Druids. He's got a convincingly way ahead, and what Fraser Garrity is forced to concede. Tries to get the up and under on that way in towards Lodge Corner. However, practically pushing him now. Is there space on the inside? Dudley feels it. Now Garrity going to the outside, the left-hand side. It's the long way round, of course, through the final corner, but if it works, if he's got the grip, he might have a good run. The answer to that is no. Ryan Dudley, at least for now, stays ahead for 5th place.
Final lap of the race. Your leader is coming down into Cascades at the moment, and this is Dudley and Garrity. Garrity looking for the run. He's not... Oh, he might... If he could have got a bit of tidier run out of there, he might have got Dudley, but not this time, as he's dropped down now onto the brakes. They go left around Cascades. Here we go on this run down into Shell Oils. It looks like Dudley might hold on to this position for a while. However, Dan Mould battling away with JB Deju, also at the same place coming down into Cascades. This is for 12th and 13th place. Mould, of course, involved in that incident with Smith that took them both out, unfortunately. But now is whether or not they're going to be able to, what Mold's going to be able to do here. To be honest, I'm surprised he's made such an effort to try and get back. I know it's only a fun race and there's no points on offer, but technically, you know, still pole would have been nice for race 2, right?
I mean, you know, Dan Mold is a driver that is very well race versed in the sense that he knows how to get jobs done. He knows how to drive back through. He knows how to have a bit of fun. Last season took the championship after only taking a single victory. Just goes to show that he knows what he has to do in order to succeed. And while it is only a bit of a fun race, he wants to stake his claim. He wants to say, you know what, guys, it's a new season, but it's the same me. I'm still that guy, and I'm still going to reign supreme. However, on this particular occasion, it's Craig that's going to take the top step.
Yeah, Gary Craig is going to come across the line in first place there. Takes the victory. Does Gary Craig. Elmore second. Lovesey done an amazing job there in third place. What is happening with JB Deja and Dan Mold? JB has just about, looks like he's going to lose out there, and Mold's going to be able to take him as these guys are going to be rushing down the elite and up the other side as well. So it is Gary Craig, Matt Elmore, and Andy Lovesey, your winners.
Beautiful stuff. Fantastic. Opening event. Obviously, it is going to go the way of Stuart Gibbons for the reverse grid pole in a few moments' time, but a brilliant way to open proceedings here for season 6 of the TCR Championship. Obviously only a fun race, no points or anything on display or anything like that. It is just go out there, have a bit of fun, but also sort of if you are looking to contend for a championship, as I was saying with Dan Mold, you want to stake your claim, you want to get your name known, and you want to be that person that is feared come the actual season opener when we take to Hockenheim. I think that is going to be very important, because if you go into Hockenheim with an expectation that you're going to do well, chances are you will, because you'll have that confidence, you'll have that morale boost, and it definitely is going to help you. But so far so good. Gary Craig, really impressive stuff, because he didn't have to fight too hard for it. He just had to drive the car cleanly, not get in anyone's way, and everything fell in place for him.
Oh, Jamie, right at the end, is he going to lose that place to VJ Rayner? They're going to come down to the line. Oh, Dengle gets it, but not by a lot there. Got to be honest, poor old Jamie Dengle put himself in such a little bit of a sticky predicament there. But here are the results from race 1. And we do have Gary Craig is your winner with Matt Elmore, Andy Lovesey, Jonathan Cook, Ryan Dudley, Fraser Garrity in 6th, Craig Waters 7th, Eric Ronenberg 8th, Kev Eilert 9th, and Tom Bingham is in 10th place. John Brown 11th, Dan Mold 12th, JB Deju 13th, Dominic Joy 14th, Steve Woodcock 15th, Arthur Ferdle battled his way back to 16th in the end, and Dan Wareham in 17th place. Then beyond that, Alan McCain, Peter Bingham, Stuart Gibbons, Russell Fowler, Dan Lewis, Jamie Dengle, VJ Rayner, Sam Smith, Jay Corley, Andrew Thompson, Steve Howard, Derek Crowther is the last man there as well. I wonder what happened to Corley. I didn't see him go off at any point, did we? Apart from him power sliding, of course.
He lost a couple of places because of it, but yeah, I don't know. I didn't see anything else beyond that, to be honest.
No, didn't see anything either, but there we go. I haven't had nothing to show up as we go into a brief 5-minute warm-up now. Give the drivers time to go and get a drink, chill out, before we go again once more as well. So that's not a bad start to the evening, and as I say, if you do want to get on there as well, you can get yourself involved in that one. All links down in the description below. Gary Craig is sitting and waiting in the interview room, so let's have a quick word with Gary, who's kicked off this fun race with the victory in race 1. Fairly straightforward in the end for Gary. Just go out in front, run away with it, job done. That's right, isn't it, Gary?
Yeah. I mean, I'll have to thank my opponents for taking each other out, to be honest. It's synchronized mistakes. I don't know. I didn't actually see it yet, but no, it was one of those ones where I was just head down trying to get a faster lap and then getting 1Xs all the times.
Yeah, but overall, you come away from the victory. Not bad overall. You are going to be down in 20th, unfortunately, though, for the reverse grid.
I mean, I'm a race 1 specialist, I get these good qualities, I get good race 1s, and then race 2s, I just die. I had a whole season of it last season. The last race of the season was the only race 2 I've successfully finished without incident, so I don't have high hopes.
Well, Gary, I'm sure you will do an absolute amazing job. I'm positive on that one. Big gainers coming, I can see it now. But Gary, well done on your race 1 victory.
Cheers, I look forward to watching it back.
Take care. Right, and then now we have got Jonathan Cook, who for some reason I can't seem to move here. So this is interesting. But let's bring... Oh, hello. No,
I did it, and then it didn't work.
no. Jonathan, are you there?
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, good, thanks. How are you?
I'm not too bad, mate. Not too bad at all. How was that for a opening race for you?
Yeah, it's pretty good, to be fair. I mean, obviously being at the front, there wasn't too much carnage, but I just managed to keep it clean. A few others had some incidents in front of me. I think the podium guys had a big crash, and that sort of brought me up from 6th to 4th, I think it was. So, yeah, really happy with that, to be fair.
Yeah, not a bad start. How do we think you're going to cope with the reverse grid?
I think this is going to be damage limitation. I don't expect probably to finish in the top 10 without being lucky with the instance. I think this is purely going to be just try and keep it clean and be cautious of what's ahead, really. Judging by sort of previous races, a few incidents, and then it ends up taking out a few other cars rather than just being one guy spin off. So yeah, just I guess being cautious what's going on.
Sit back, chilling, and hopefully you make it through.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, Jonathan, thank you so much for joining us, buddy. There. Good luck in race 2, and hopefully we might have a chat with you later.
Yeah, no worries. Cheers, guys.
Well, there we go. I had to move him in the old-fashioned way by right-clicking and doing it that way. Couldn't move him in the other way. But overall, you know, Gary Craig sounds positive. Not so positive about race 2, though, Zach, there.
Can you blame him? He's got 19 places to make up over the course of 20 minutes. You know, that's on average about 1.5 a lap, I suppose, is the general consensus of that one. That's going to be tricky. Maybe not off the sort of initial getaway. Maybe he can make up a few places quite easily, obviously over the course of the opening 5 laps or whatever. But as soon as things start to calm down, that sort of progress is going to plateau a little bit, halt a little bit as, you know, gaps start to grow to 2-3 seconds. He has got some trouble to do, but we haven't really seen him jostle amongst the pack. We've seen him, as he said, put in a good qualifying lap in and allow the opponents to do some synchronized spinning or whatever he said, to quote the man. So we've not really seen him have that pack dynamic, so it'll be an interesting sort of thing to see over the course of the next 20 minutes. But his pace was sensational, so all he's got to do is put everything together in a nicely wrapped package for race number 2, and he might find himself climbing up the order. But I have to say, I'm looking forward to this one because some of our big contenders are sort of all over the place.
Yeah, they definitely are. Now, Jay's come into YouTube chat and he's put, it was a great incident. Now, if that involves your power sliding around the corner, we did see that one. I'm just wondering how you ended up further down after that, Jay, to be honest. But there we go. Here is the grid for race 2. Stuart Gibbons is your man on pole. Peter Bingham 2nd. Alan McCain 3rd. Daniel Wareham 4th. Arthur Ferdle in 5th. Steve Woodcock 6th. Dominic Joy 7th. JB Deju 8th. Dan Mould 9th. John Brown 10th. Tom Bingham 11th. Kev Eilert is in 12th place. Then beyond that, Eric Ronneberg, Craig Waters, Fraser Garrett, he rounds out your top 15 with Ryan Dudley, Jonathan Cook, Andrew Lovesey, Matt Elmore, and your winner from race 1, Gary Craig, in 20th. Russell Fowler, Dan Lewis, Jamie Dengle, and VJ Rayner round out your top 24. Sam Smith, Jay Corley, Andrew Thompson, Steve Hailwood, Derek Qualver, and Niels Manhanden, who both of them, I don't believe, took the start last time out, and I don't think they're going to do it again, but we are going to be underway. Stuart Gibbons is on pole. The lights are just about to go out here. For the second race, the top 20 reverse at Oulton Park, and it is Gibbons, McCain, Bingham, Ferdle. Ferdle's got Bingham right at the beginning. McCain is just about to go past Stuart Gibbons as well to take the lead. Arthur Ferdle sitting in 3rd place. Oh, runners off on the left-hand side. Quite a few. Are they going to be able to come back on safely? That's going to be the question. It looks like they have, and it was a good old few people there taking a little bit of diverts off the side of the circuit there as well, and there's another load of incidents, more incidents going on further back as Daniel Lewis has just gone round there as well. It looks like Matt Elmore, Daniel Lewis also involved. Kev Eilert might have been involved in that one as well. Oh, and unfortunately for them, it's all about going round. And here is Jay Corley. What did he do? Crawl off the starting line there as well? Because unfortunately for Jay, he's right at the back of the... no, he went off track. Did Jay Corley. So unfortunately for him, another off track there as well. But it is Alan McCain, Stuart Gibbons out in front currently at the moment with Arthur Ferdle battling away with Gibbons, and it is going to be Ferdle through.
It is indeed Arthur Thurtle trying to redeem himself over the course of race 1. I say redeem himself, redeem his result, not necessarily a mistake on his part by any stretch of the imagination, but looking to contend over the course of race number 2. Very, very chaotic, and that sort of happens when you get the reverse grid dynamic. You get the quote-unquote faster guys trying to force their way through some of the quote-unquote slower guys and get their way back into position, and, well, it just ends itself being a whole jumbled heap of mess sometimes. We're right on board at the moment with Arthur Thurtle, following him from up above. The top 4 separated by absolutely nothing. After the first lap concludes, Alan McCain, Arthur Thurtle, Stuart Gibbons and Peter Bingham, your top 4. And, well, no massive movers in terms of sort of previous race victors or anything like that, I suppose. I mean, Gary Craig is up 8 places, but just shy of the top 10 at the moment. Here we go. This is spicy. All aboard the Dudley Express, I suppose, because, well, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars all queuing up behind him. And, well, Ryan Dudley's going to have a good time trying to keep those behind.
Yeah, he is. Unfortunately, it looks like Sam Smith and also Andrew Lovesey had an incident. Both of them guys are back in the pits there. So unfortunately for them, it looks like game over. It looks like VJ Rayner is another one that may have suffered, but it is Lovesey, Smith, Mantan and Crowther. Crowther and Mantan didn't take the start, unfortunately. They are out at this moment in time and done. Steve Howard is sitting in 19th place. He's having a battle with Dengle, but it is all about Ryan Dudley. What is Dudley going to be able to do here? What has he got to do, Zach? That's more of the question.
Well, he's 2 seconds off the back of JB Deju, which is not a unfeasibly mammoth task to undertake. He could close that gap, particularly considering Deju is in a bit of a fight with John Brown himself. He's got that ability to potentially go and catch, or he's got the option to just anchor down and see where he can get. I mean, he's got a long way, over 3/4 of the race left if he wants to anchor down and defend. And when you defend for that long, chances are you are not going to make it out on top. A little bit wide out in front as well as Dan Mould tries to get himself into the mix. He now gets his way back into where he started, past Eric Roningberg, and, well, now knocking on the door potentially of Ryan Dudley. So maybe his defence is going to be short-lived with the reigning champion knocking on his doorstep. But if I was Ryan Dudley, I don't know, I would do my best to try and catch the pack in front to improve on my race. But as soon as you start defending, you sort of seal your fate and you've got to commit to the bit. And, well, yeah, the bit in said sense is 5 cars queuing up behind you ready to pounce, and all it takes is one mistake and you could lose all of those 5 places. So I'd say to Ryan Dudley, he's not in the best of places, but, well, that's kind of obvious.
Yeah, from Dudley's point of view there, he's clearly going to be trying to defend for his life here. I don't know the chances of him being able to do with it. And I'm not saying Dudley's not experienced. I'm not saying he's not a capable driver. I'm just saying it's going to be tough for him to defend from the defending championship champion, which is Dan Mould right behind him. Unfortunately, McCain looks like he's gone. I don't know where he's gone. He went off track here. And it looks like he has gone after... Oh, ouch.
Oh, wow.
Missed Arthur Thurtle. Well, poor old Arthur Thurtle really could be in it here. And he manages to miss him as we go back on board with Ryan Dudley and the fight earlier on with Dan Mould, which still is kicking off currently at the moment.
Absolutely, that was a very big shunt through Shell Oils, and just goes to exaggerate the point that we were making throughout race 1 in the sense that it's a dangerous corner. It's very sketchy, as well, going off on the exit of Druids there, just in the background. That's one of the Hyundais. That might be Craig, I believe, just in the background. Yeah, Gary Craig, who, of course, won race 1, up now to 11th place from 20th on the field. And I said, didn't I, at the start of the race, that he's going to make up a ton of places. And, well, that might still continue because the gap up to 6th isn't massive. It's only a hop, skip and a jump between each individual car, and he could easily find himself into that contention. And, oh, you never know, if he keeps it clean, if he keeps it consistent and adopts his strategy that he adopted throughout race 1, he could still find himself up a few more places over the course of the rest of this race. Fight for second though, Stuart Gibbons, Peter Bingham and Daniel Wareham all fighting over as John Brown joins into the mix as well. If Deju gets in, closes that 1.1 second gap, we could have a long fight here for second.
Yeah, the interesting thing is VJ Rayner has put "I'll get you next time," Dengle, in the YouTube chat, and unfortunately for VJ, he went off and has jumped to the pit. So that could be, well, unlikely that it'll get Jamie Dengle this time around, but I'm sure it's a long season. I'm sure they'll both be able to do it as the season goes on. 14 minutes remaining, and we have got Dan Wareham under attack from John Brown as a move in the back as well. Dan Mould trying to go past Ryan Dudley. Not this time around. Is Mould going to get the run? He is. He's going to be looking up the hill. I dread this, partly because it tightens up so much going into Druids, and it never generally can work out well. Give him room, please give him room. Oh, Dudley's not giving up. He's not giving up here, Zach. He's going for it, and still managing to hold on to the fact that Dan Mould's right behind him.
Yeah, Dan Mould obviously made the same mistake in race 1 of trying to go to the inside through Druids. It didn't quite work out on that occasion. It completely ruined his race 1. So he's obviously going to carry that same shadow in the back of his mind and say, you know what, yeah, maybe I'm not going to be as committed this time round. And at the moment, Dudley is using that to full effect. But Dan Mould is unrelenting. He will not give in until he is through. And, well, it might not be this lap. It might not be the lap after, but he will find a way through. And a good run out of Cascades on this back stretch in towards Island Bend. He's going to look to the left-hand side. That is definitely the more optimal place to be. He's got a significant amount of overlap. Is Dudley going to try to go the long way around? He is indeed. Brilliant bit of racing. So close to contact. Now in towards Shell Oils. Dan Mould so late on the brakes. Deterred to the left and off the road. Goodness me. He's nearly into the barrier, but rejoins the circuit on the exit. That is... Oh my word, I'm not, I don't have a crystal ball in front of me, James, but I have to say I could see that coming.
Yeah, I think that was the thing. We've been there before, and it's no disrespect to any of the drivers, but going through Island side by side on that run down into Shells is always, always, always difficult. And we've seen it before with Dan Mould there as well, and it's just done exactly the same what we predicted again. It's so tight, it's so tough to go side by side. Fair play for giving it a go, but Dudley's always going to come that way with the way the track goes, and it is always tough when you are just on that outside line getting squeezed against the grass.
100%. Obviously, there was more I think both drivers could have done, so just a bit of a racing incident. In all fairness, maybe Dudley couldn't have closed the gap as much. Dan Mould probably would have been wiser to back out of it in that regard, as we see a good little fight here between Bingham and Brown in towards turn number 1. Bingham able to hang on and retain his podium place for now. A lot of off tracks pinging up on the time and tower as people run their way through turn number 1, which is fair enough. Easily done. There's a lot of track on the outside, and you're invited to use it through and towards Cascades. Brilliant send from John Brown. He worked his way up into P3. That was brave. It was bold. It was brilliant. And, well, Bingham, unfortunately, demoted to 4th. That was, I have to say, he saw the gap. He committed his Audi to the inside. And, well, not to say anything about Audis, but, well, he's definitely making it look quite good. Yeah,
Bingham kind of left the door wide open there. And, unfortunately, there's only one thing that's going to happen, and John Brown's going to come through. JB Deju has now got Ryan Dudley right behind him. Is Deju going to be able to make this work? He's got to try and stop Dudley. He can't be, obviously, let's only keep it to one move. That would be ideal. Dudley's on the left-hand side going down into Knickerbrook. 2 Audis together, 3 Audis there with another one in the back of Craig Waters. It is Dudley. Deju backs out a little bit, but now he's going to be under attack from Waters. What is Waters going to be able to do here? Is he going to be able to make this move as well? Can he get past? He's zigging and he's zagging, and next he's going to be joining the dots as well, and he could have a nice little picture by the time he's got his pencil out and figured out what he's going to do. He's going to look for the run now, going up the inside. He's going to be going up the inside. Deju's going to leave the door open. He's got to leave the door open. Waters has got his nose up the inside, and away he goes through Lodge, and looks like he got the job done there, Zach.
Indeed so. As soon as the car's ahead, you can claim the corner pretty much, as they're still continuing to fight it out. Here's Bingham. Now he's got Wareham just in behind. Also the fight between Stuart Gibbons and John Brown. John Brown up 7 places. He's not good with that. He'll never be satisfied. He always wants a little bit more. He's looking to make it 8, and a little bit wide there from Gibbons is definitely going to be a little bit saucy in the mouth of John Brown as he tries to work his way past, but no prevail on this particular occasion towards Island Bend. There's no way through, and, well, you'd be stupid to try and send it from that far back, because, well, Brown, he's got the time. He's still got half this race left to go. Let's not forget. I mean, he's got the time to work his way up into 2nd, but, well, I think 2nd is the best he's going to ask for, really, because Arthur Thurtle sort of taken off in the fight for the leads. But here we go, the long run in towards Knickerbrook, and already pulling out to the left.
Yeah, he is. It looks like he's going to try and go around the outside excuse me, of Knickerbrook. Is Gibbons going to be able to give him room? They're going to be running side by side. Oh, up through now they go. And it is Brown getting through on that one. Gary Craig is having a nice little tidy battle with JB Deju here. He's trying to go through as well. Craig's up 11 places, one of the highest gainers, along with Steve Howard, who's also made his way back through as well. And from Gary Craig's point of view, for a man that was very nervous about race 2, he's picking them off bit by bit, and he's not rushing the overtakes, and he's just getting the job done, and he's going to get another one there on the inside of Deju coming down into Lodge as well. He could, you know, I'm not saying he's going to get the win here, Zach, but he ain't got far to go before he starts getting into the next pack.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's obviously Gary Craig's style, is the sense that, yeah, you know what, a side-by-side just in the background as well between Deju and Geraghty. Geraghty trying to squeeze the action on the inside. However, Deju sees it coming and goes to the outside there. Now 2 abreast going into the Cascades, but all going single file. Back to back goes Deju, Geraghty and Roningberg also into the mix. But Craig's so obviously ideology is pick them off one by one. Don't be silly. Don't be too aggressive. The race will come to you. Inside line through Island Bend. That is definitely something that Gary Craig would not would shy away from, I should say, and would definitely cringe at the thought of doing. He's more passive. However, Deju wants to get the moves done and dusted, and well, unfortunately for him, it was Geraghty that got the move done and dusted on that particular occasion. Have to say it was brave, and well, it takes someone who's maybe a little bit more bright rather than brave to allow both of you to get through alive or not in situations like that. Is Stuart Gibbons is really pushing the limits trying to keep 3rd place.
Yeah, I love the fact that VJ's now in YouTube chat. Apparently, I won't get you next time, Dengle. So there we go. After coming in before the beginning of this race and saying he'll get him next time. Unfortunately, he did not. But it is Stuart Gibbons with Peter Bingham. Further back from that, Craig Waters and Craig now. Gary Craig trying to make his way past another man. Is this going to be number 13 of Craig Waters here coming up very soon? Maybe not if he runs over the grass like that, he won't. And unfortunately for him, he's dropped a little bit of time back currently at the moment. Kev Eilert is now got Russell Fowler with Jay Corley right behind him, and they're trying to battle away here for 17th, 18th and 19th place respectively. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Dan I'll put the first lap of the race in on a 1:33.99. So Dan Mold's flying, but he's also currently sitting down in 12th place at this moment in time.
Yeah, so it's nice to see good fights up and down the order. There we go, nearly continuing to go for the fact even into some of the trickiest corners on the circuit. So it's very promising signs to see how incredibly close the field is and how competitive people are and how much they want these moves done. It's definitely going to invite some carnage, some chaos, some calamity. Also, some nice bit of spice and action over the course of the season as well. So I'm very much looking forward to these guys because they're aggressive. They're racing drivers, aren't they? They're straight to the bone. They are fantastic at what they do, and they will not skimp away from any form of competition. Dan Mold trying to recover, obviously, went off at Shell Oils a couple of laps ago. Up now to 11th place, make that 10th. He works his way past Eric Roningberg for good measure. Also 3 seconds off the back of the train or battle, I should say, for Fraser Geraghty. Also then the fight between Craig Rolters and Gary Craig for 7th. So still doable, but well, if he wants to do it, it's got to start now.
Yeah, he definitely has. Gary Craig's got to try and get past Craig Waters. Waters seems to be a little bit of a tougher opponent than the other 12 he's gone past already. No disrespect to them, of course, but Gary Craig did win the first race by a country mile, and it looks like he's going to be trying to make a move up here further on as well. But this battle with John Brown, Stuart Gibbons, Peter Bingham, Dan Wareham, all battling away quite nicely in the pack for 4th, 5th and 6th. Currently at this moment in time. Eric Ronneberg in the background there as well. He's chasing down Dan Mold, and then we've got Tom Bingham, Joy, Cook, Howard and Fowler. They're having a nice little tidy battle further down as well for 13th, 14th, 15th and 16th. So battles all the way through here on the SRL Fun Day from Oulton Park with no chicanes. So it's going to be an interesting one, Zach, how they go into the last 4 minutes.
Absolutely, and well, it's sort of that time where you've got to start shifting into an extra gear, finding something that you can do in order to harness some extra couple of tenths of a second or whatever it is, some form of a way to find your way past a couple of drivers, because well, now is the time where it really starts to count. You don't need to lead any lap of the race bar the last one, bar the final corner until you cross the line. That is the sort of the thing you got to be playing in the back of your mind, is that whatever happened up until now, see seize your moment in the present and make the moves count side by side in towards Druids, just in behind this fight with Tom Bingham, Jonathan Cook and Dominic Joy working their way in towards Druids, and well, it goes the way of Cook on that particular occasion, and it was very, very close. Four-way fight here, and I have to say that Bingham has really got his work cut out. Similar to Dudley a little bit earlier on, but well, now the tension starts to rise as you get into the final couple of moments. People start wanting it a little bit more. They start getting desperate, and they start making silly mistakes like that.
Yeah, now we've got Craig Walters, who's still Gary Craig in 6th place, up 14 positions there, partly due to the fact that Ryan Dudley went off track and has lost some positions, unfortunately for him as well, and also did Peter Bingham. So Peter is now all the way back down in 12th place with Tom behind him. I'll have to find out if their son and two brothers or sons and father, I'll have to find out on that one. But here's Dudley under attack from Eric Ronenberg for 9th and 10th place. And yeah, interesting one going on here with Fraser Garrity and Gary Craig. It looks like Craig has made a mistake and unfortunately it allowed Fraser Garrity through. He did go an off. How bad an off was it? Well, here we go.
Oh, wow.
Curb,
Wow.
Curb on the outside there, coming out of Shell Oils.
Just literally the smallest, you could barely see that he went obviously over the limit, and it was that smallest thing, that small imbalance to the rear end, and just the car snapped. He obviously managed to catch it because front wheel drives allow that sort of a little bit better to correct oversteer, but went straight to the other side of the circuit. His not only was, you know, the initial instant caused a lot of time loss, also the fact that he'd done it preceding a very long straight, also a bit of an uphill climb as well. You know, it exaggerates that, very momentum based. So yeah, lost a lot of time in doing so. Coming into the final couple of moments, there could be the move from Steve Hailwood. In going for it, though, I respect the effort and going for it. He's lost a lot of time. However, Tom Bingham and obviously Cook going side by side might bring him back into the fight. And well, no, it doesn't, because well, it's not really much of a fight from Bingham.
Yeah, Bingham's let Cook go, and Cook's now through up into 13th and a place gaining 4 there. Gary Craig, 13 positions gained. He's got about nearly a second to the next man, Fraser Garrity. Eric Ronenberg and Ryan Dudley still trying to, with Ronenberg trying to close up. Both up 7 places for Dudley, 3 for Ronenberg, and Steve Hailwood is tied highest gainer with 13 places, and then Russell Fowler having a go here as well with Dominic Joy further down in 16th and 17th. So they're still battling with a minute and a half to go, and Arthur Fertel has kind of run away with it, hasn't he, Zach? Really 7 seconds up front.
Yeah, he's definitely enjoyed this race as Arthur Fertel, and he's trying to make the statement that I'm better than 3rd place in the championship, which he's going to aspire to improve upon. Didn't have the race that he would have wanted in race number 1. The qualifying was decent, 7th place, but obviously you always have that thirst for victory, and that's exactly what Fertel's been able to do, but via the reverse grid format that he's been able to put himself into that position. John Brown's also been really impressive, up 8 places. Craig Walters 9, Fraser Garrity 9. Gary Craig, however, up 13. Dan Mould started at, well, what is that, 12 places ahead of him, and now sees himself in front, Gary Craig, in front of Dan Mould, which just goes to show how good Craig is. And I have to say, Dan Mould, he was able to get away with winning the championship last season with just a single win. I have to say, with drivers like Craig on his heels, he's might need a couple more than just one to win season 6. Yeah,
he's definitely going to. Steve Hailwood, well, literally climbing all over the back of Tom Bingham. Eric Ronenberg and Ryan Dudley. Yeesh. Coming around our Cascades there on the rundown into Island Bend currently at the moment as well for the final lap of the race. Fertel is on his way down through Hilltop down into Knickerbrook as well, and he's only got about 4 corners left to go before he gets across the line. But it is going to be Ronenberg and Dudley. Ronenberg's looks like he's got the run out here. Is he going to be able to hold on to this one? That's going to be the question as he tucks right in behind Dudley now. Here we go once more. Eric Ronenberg and Ryan Dudley down the run, down Hilltop they go into Knickerbrook. Is this going to be Ronenberg's move? Dudley moves across, covers him off. He looks up the inside. Ronenberg settles in behind him, looking to get that run out up in Clay Hill. Not really managing to hold on to it currently at the moment. And it is Arthur Fertel is going to come across the line, and he's going to take the victory in race 2 here as well. So great victory for Fertel as he comes over the line, flashing frantically there as well, and gets 1st place. John Brown will get 2nd, and then Stuart Gibbons will get 3rd place. behind it as well. But what happened down with Dudley and Ronenberg, we're going to find out very, very shortly. It looks like Ronenberg didn't get Ryan Dudley this time around, so unfortunately for him, he is staying where he is. Steve Howard up 13. He is going to be coming across the line very, very shortly as well, behind Bingham and Joy, and Corley down in 16th place there with Eilert mixed up in the mix. And here comes the Gagler cars all the way through. So great racing from everyone tonight as well. Looking like, if this is anything to go by, Zach, it's going to be a great season, I think.
I've loved tonight, every second of it. It's been phenomenal, and yeah, bring on the season. Honestly, I really cannot wait. Obviously, season 5, we just managed to catch the back end of it with the season finale at Road Atlanta, but now I'm ramped up. I love touring cars a lot more than I enjoy driving them. Front wheel drive cars aren't really my thing, but watching them, commentating on them, I rarely ever have much more fun when I've got some touring cars in front of me. And obviously a grid as stacked as this, as competitive as this, as packed as this, it is going to be fantastic. All you guys at home, you are not going to want to miss this. I know Phil won't, but obviously anyone else that's joining in and maybe not as regular on the JP Broadcasting YouTube channel, you are going to love season number 6 of the TCR Championship, because it is going to be one to remember.
Yeah, it definitely will be here as well, but Arthur Fernald takes the victory. John Brown in 2nd, Stuart Gibbons 3rd, Craig Waters 4th, Fraser Garrity 5th, Gary Craig 6th, Dan Mould 7th, Ryan Dudley 8th, Eric Ronenberg 9th, Peter Bingham at 10th in front of Tom Bingham there in 11th. Dominic Joy 12th, Jay Corley 13th, Kev Eilert 14th, Russell Fowler 15th, Andrew Thompson 16th, and Jamie Dengle down in 17th place. Steve Woodcock in 18th, Dan Lewis 19th, Matt Elmore 20th, Jonathan Cook 21st. Didn't manage to make up from his 4th place in race 1 there, unfortunately, for Cook, and he's down in 21st place. Dan Wareham in 22nd, JB Deju 23rd, Steve Halewood 24th, Alan McCain 25th, VJ Rayner, Andrew Lovesey, Sam Smith, and Dec Grava. And I think at the bottom of that is going to be Niels there as well. Did not, unfortunately, complete the evening of racing. And we've got the race 2 winner, Arthur Ferdal, into the booth with us now. Arthur, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, James. How are you?
Wonderful, mate. I'm back watching TCRs. How do you think I'm going to feel? It's going to be amazing. Okay, let's have a quick discussion about race 1. Steve Howard, unfortunately, on the grass at Island Bend, and you were just kind of a passenger in his own incident.
Yeah, well, I think Steve's just a bit of an amateur, really, isn't he?
Well,
I'm joking.
don't do that to me, because what am I supposed to say to that?
I wound Steve up. I said, I'm going to go in there and slag you off, Steve.
You're not supposed to say things like that.
It happens, doesn't it, at Oulton Park?
Mate, yeah.
The race didn't matter. It made it good fun, to be honest. And we did have a joke as well when I caught back up to him about if he was then done it to me again.
Yeah, well, it's going to be an interesting season, isn't it? You know, you took the victory in race 2 by about 7 seconds. I'm not expecting every race 2 to be as easy as that for you this season.
Hopefully, no race 2 is as easy as that this season. Hopefully, I don't have to. I'm not starting near the front. I'd like to be doing well in race 1 and starting near the back.
Yeah, but would you though? You still took a victory, right?
Yeah, I took a victory, but there's you know, you lose a lot of points by not doing well in the first race.
Yeah, but then you make up for it for the win in the second one.
You know,
I think it swings in roundabouts.
I'm comfortably in the top 10 in both of them.
I think it swings in roundabouts. Yeah, mate, give over, will you? Stop talking things like that, will you? When you come in my booth telling me you're not the quickest in the TCR. Yes, you are. You're perfectly, you know, adequately fine to be winning a race. I think you're adequately to be able to turn around and say you're fast in the TCR.
My wife describes me as adequate as well.
Oh, God.
Yeah, but I believe she's talking about your driving ability and nothing else, Mr. Fertile. Thank you very much for joining me on that note. You drastic man. Right, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to before we let you go?
Dan and John, the organisers, they do a great job. This was a fun race, but you know the next one I think is the media race, so we all got to be a bit more sensible.
Right, okay, mate. Well, I will catch you on Monday, young sir, for Road Atlanta Short. That should be a good one in the Clio Cup. And I'll see you then.
Yeah, see you Monday.
Take care, mate.
Bye.
Right, that is Arthur Furlong. Now we've got Dan Mould and John Brown. We'll bring them both in to the booth as well. John taking second place in race 2. Dan, unfortunately, being involved in incidents in both races. The man that won the championship last season with 1 race win all season. Let's start with John because he finished in second place in race 2. John, how are you getting on? How are you?
I'm very good, thank you, James. I enjoyed that thoroughly. Hope everybody else did who took part. It's great to see so many people turn up for the fun race.
Yeah, it definitely was.
Plenty of action for you.
Yeah, there was all the way through, to be fair. Not so much for you in race 2, though. Looked fairly quite comfortable finishing second.
Yeah, I got through the field reasonably well. And then Arthur, I just had no answer for Arthur, to be honest. He was just too quick. He'd done his tactical reverse grid P1, I think, and
yeah, I don't know if he explained that to Steve Howard like that. I've got to be honest. I don't think he purposely put himself in that position. I think Steve might have had a helping hand.
He didn't mention his name, but I don't know. So yeah, no, I just had no answer for Arthur. He was too quick. Took me too long to get through the grid, and maybe with a bit of draft I could have kept up, but. No, you know what Arthur's like. He's unstoppable, isn't he? So yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I messed up myself in the first race. Just outbraved myself and spun off. But again, I ended up in the mid pack and had some good battles. It was good fun.
Good stuff there. Well, let's have a chat with Mr. Dan Mould, of course, the man that had an incident in race 1 and an incident in race 2 as well. Mr. Mould, how are you, sir? How was your evening? Should we go with that one first?
From the organising side of it, yeah, it went good. 30 people turned up. I know there's a few incidents, but we've explained that this is going to happen, especially on a track like this. Such a tight, fast track. I did say to John before the session went live, I think we've picked the wrong track here, but it's iconic and I love Oulton. But regarding the results, I had a majestic battle with Sam, and I think it may have been me getting a little bit too tight on him, and then I think we come together. I went on the grass, and then that was it. I couldn't save it. I tried, and then I just rotated into him. I think he was a little bit cheesed off, so sorry, Sam. And then race 2, Ryan Dudley's had some new hardware, and he's just gained confidence and pace, and it was just tough with him. And again, just slight contact, and then that was it. I was on the grass again, but I'm not overly fussed. I'll save it for the actual league. Would have been nice to have a battle with Arthur and Gary up top in the couple of races, but it is what it is. I want to blame you though, James, because when I was in the practice session, the car felt alien to me because of the Clios, and I wasn't liking the fact that John was quicker than me. I almost got onto Right Move and sold my house because I can't be having John being quicker than me in the street. So,
hold on a minute.
Your fault,
You're not
James.
blaming me for the fact that you joined the Clio Cup and then did practice in a TCR. That's not my responsibility.
I am blaming you for running such an epic Clio league, which I love, which is costing me time in my beloved TCR and putting me into that flipping hairdresser's car, which I also love to hate. Like I said, I drove the TCR and practically like I was driving the Clio. I was changing at 4,000 revs. It doesn't work in the TCR.
I'm sorry, I'm not accepting responsibility for this one, and I think we need to have a, I think John, I think John, you need to get onto this one, mate, and deal with this because this is a little bit going on.
He's just annoyed because I've just put up my fastest TCR driver in the street banner.
Well, good. So. You advertise it, John, as much as you want as well. Go running down the street shouting. I'll tell you that much. Look, going forward, though, John, tell us a little bit about the series. What are we going to expect this season?
Close, clean racing with any luck, mates. We're a great season of tight TCR-style tracks lined up, and hopefully we'll get a decent turnout. Everyone's welcome. We like to keep it friendly, and have everybody in the Discord chatting away whilst we race. So if anybody feels like they would enjoy a nice relaxed league on a Friday night, then get in touch on the Discord. Links are in the description, I assume.
Yes, they are.
And if people, you know, who've raced tonight who are new to the community, you know, if you've had a bad night, don't base it on tonight. You know, the league is like yours, James. It is a very good. We do have some real good, as you know, we have some real good close racing, and the atmosphere in the Discord is really fun and friendly. No matter what happens, we come together and we just discuss them. Things will happen. They'll happen in any league we do.
Exactly, and thank you very much, gentlemen. I would ask if there's anyone you want to give a shout out to, but you can't generally shout out yourselves for organising an amazing TCR league, as always, though. So is there anyone you want to give a shout out to before we let you go? John, let's start with you.
James. You, James, for making it so exciting to watch.
There you go. Come on then, Dan, hit me with it.
Just everyone who's involved, mate. You know, I keep saying the same thing over again every time I have an interview. You know, as you know, it's. I mean, you more so than us. You do put a lot of time in, you know, running a league, and we're not really a big league, but you know, we do put a lot of time in, you know, little things like messaging people, discussing. I mean, we don't just go and pick 6 tracks. We discuss the tracks, you know, and the reasons why we pick them. You know, me and John, and yeah, it's just. And without the guys and you know, who come together and race with us, why would we do it? You know, so it's our hobby, and we love doing it, and we love the fact that other people love doing it, and we will continue to do this as long as they're there.
Can I put a suggestion in though as well for a couple of track changes before we actually start?
No. Go on.
Go on.
Zandvoort for Snetterton and Oschersleben for Phillip Island.
Oh, Snetterton.
I love both of them tracks, mate.
We've got to have Oschersleben.
No, I'm sorry, Phillip Island all day.
Yeah, maybe next season, eh?
Oh, okay. Well, you clearly didn't discuss the tracks with me before we started putting them out, did you? So there we go, gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining me, and we'll catch up with you for the GR86 next week. And Dan, you know, enjoy your hairdresser's car on Monday at Road Atlanta Short.
I can't wait. Can't wait.
Take care,
See you later.
Bye.
See you, mate. See you.
All right, so there we go. That was, of course, Dan Mould and John Brown there, Zach. Both of them in high spirits, mate, considering Dan had a bit of a up and down evening.
Yeah, obviously he knows he's quick. He knows how good he is, being the reigning champion and all that. But it's always good to sort of have good spirits, you know, even when things don't necessarily go your way. It keeps the morale up, it keeps your confidence up, and will definitely help you into future rounds. And it just shows sort of what the type of guy that they both are, really. It just shows that they're, you know, happy to do what they're doing. They do it because they love it. They're not necessarily just here to win. They're here to have a good time, obviously running the league and seeing it prosper and do well and all that. You know, they're genuine people. It's nice to see. However, I do have a bone to pick with John. Obviously, the comment about Snetterton did throw me off a little bit. But you know, that's fine. He's entitled to his opinion, even if it's a wrong one. So we'll leave it like that. We'll let him carry on. But yeah, obviously, really looking forward to seeing how the rest of the season gets going, because it honestly is going to be sensational. I really can't wait to see, obviously, what Dan Mould and Co can really do. Obviously, the people fighting towards the front end of the field, they're going to be having so much fun, and we're going to be having so much fun in the commentary booth as well. I seriously cannot wait.
No, it's going to be an amazing race in there. As John said, if you want to get yourself involved, all Discord links are down in the description below. But that is it, guys. That rounds out tonight's broadcast for myself and Zach Sweeney. As always, take care. Have a great week. And you never know, we might see you on a track sometime. Good night.